This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 7 and verse 2 in the NLT. Son of man, this is what the sovereign Lord says to Israel. The end is here. Wherever you look, east, west, north, or south, your land is finished. No hope remains. For I will unleash my anger against you. I will call you to account for all your detestable sins. I will turn my eyes away and show no pity. I will repay you for all your detestable sins. Then you will know that I am the Lord. This is what the sovereign Lord says. Disaster after disaster is coming your way. The end has come. It has finally arrived. Your final doom is waiting. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Rawchaa, Qadash. Double honors to our teachers, the apostles, and elders of Great Millstone. Much respect to the brothers laboring worldwide in truth and sincerity. And salutations and blessings to the elect, believing on the words of Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi. This your brother Yahawah, here in the church of Birmingham, Alabama, coming at you with another lesson, Lord willing, is edifying. The end has come. We're witnessing the end. And these things are playing out more and more, man. You know, you got the digital ID being made mandatory in the UK, right? Which is part of that gradualism of Esau. He's gradually introducing these certain things to what a point where you people are going to be taken, man. All right? You had the 86 million bank accounts in Vietnam get closed because they refused to take that biometric digital ID system, you know? So now the money is being held hostage until they comply to the system. And you see these things as a global thing, man. And again, we warn you. Start with our head apostle, elder apostle Ha. We've been warning you. We've been warning you, giving you warning of these things that are set to come to pass. Now, the digital ID is not the MOTB. It's a system set up to incorporate that micro C-HIP, which is going to entail all your information, including buying and selling. Okay? Now, this thing with this digital ID for the UK, it encompasses public transportation, you know, it encompasses working, you know, it brings all those things together, man. All right? And it's just one more step closer to that micro C-HIP, man. In the UK, it's the NFC chip. All right? In the Americas, in the West, it's the RFID C-HIP, man. Okay? But the end is here. And we plainly see it. The Lord has given us eyesight to understand what time and season we're in. Matter of fact, real quick, before we get this, before I play this video. Is that 2 Thessalonians 2? Let's get it in the NLT. It says, events, see that? Events prior to the Lord's second coming. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 1. Now, dear brothers and sisters, let us clarify some things about the coming of our Lord Yahawashi HaMashiach and how we will be gathered to meet him. Don't be easily shaken or alarmed by those things, by those who say that the day of the Lord has already begun. Don't believe them, even if they claim they have had a spiritual vision, revelation, or a letter supposedly from us. Hey, that's beautiful, man. You had this crazy ass South African talking about the rapture, man. You know, said he had a vision from God, or God came, or Jesus, as they call it, came and talked to him. But obviously he was incorrect, man. You know? So Paul was warning us about those false teachers. It says, don't be fooled by what they say, for that day will not come until there is a great rebellion against the Most High. Yeah, This is part of that great rebellion against Yahawah. This damn devil want to chip everybody. He wants to be like the Most High, man. You know? And his target, his main target is you Israelites, man. You know? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. That's who this damn devil was targeting. You know? Mainly the elect. Okay? It says, and the man of lawlessness, who is that? Esau Edom, the so-called white man, is revealed. The one who brings destruction. See that? So yeah, this is part of this damn devil bringing the destruction, man. You know? But guess what? Yahawashi has warned us of these things that are set to come to pass. And if you take heed, it'll feel better for you. You know? Now I have a collection of videos that I put together, you know, just going into this topic, man. It's about 6 minutes and 34 seconds long. So tune in.
Well, it seems that we are officially heading in a certain direction globally, as tomorrow Keir Starmer, the British Prime Minister, is going to announce their plans for the digital ID, where every adult in the UK will be forced to have this digital ID in order to participate in certain government services and in order to establish who they are, since they're in the middle of their biggest migrant crises in their history, and they're having so many undocumented boats full of migrants come to the UK. So this is their solution now, on top of the TV licenses that UK citizens have to have, and on top of not being able to pray in public. Now they're going to have a digital ID where you can report things like potholes or trash not being picked up. So it's supposed to be a really great thing. However, it's kind of concerning making everyone have this in order to participate in certain things that a citizen would get to participate in. So if you think that it's a great thing to have a digital ID, then good for you. But a lot of people don't. So I wonder what they're going to do.
Digital ID will be made law for all adults in an effort to tackle small boats. Downing Street believes that a mandatory ID card system will help stop illegal immigrants working. Let's bring in our political correspondent, Mari Aurora. Mari, what more do we know about this?
Yeah, well, Gareth, this is interesting because this is something that has been spoken about a lot. Tony Blair, for instance, has been talking about this for years and years as what he always believed was one of the best ways to try and reduce illegal immigration and the ability for people to work illegally here in the UK. But Sky News understands that we will have an announcement, could be as soon as tomorrow, from the Prime Minister on these mandatory ID cards, an ID card system, the Brit card. And essentially what this will mean, it will be mandatory for all adults here in the UK. It will make it easier for employers and for landlords to make sure that those they are employing or renting or to actually have the right legal immigration status here in the UK. They can do it using a smartphone app. It's also, according to the government, going to make it easier for people here in the UK to essentially prove their status or their ability to kind of qualify to be able to work here in the UK. And essentially, this is all about immigration. This is all about trying to tackle small boats crossings. We've had a lot of conversation about small boats and about other European countries, especially the French, who have been concerned with the kind of pull factors here in the UK in terms of being able to work in the black market, being able to work illegally here in the UK. We already know that France has an ID card system. They've had it for many, many years. And it's something that the UK has always resisted, partly because of questions around civil liberties and freedoms, but also because many governments in previous times said they didn't think it was the best approach. Now, clearly, Keir Starmer has been persuaded of the benefits of a digital ID card system and has been persuaded that this might have a significant impact on small boats crossings. The question really, and this is always going to be the million-dollar question, is once this comes into play and once it is enforced, how much of an impact could it have on small boats crossings? And if it has a really significant impact on small boats crossings, then it really really kind of starts to eradicate that pull factor for illegal migrants coming to the UK, because I think they can essentially make money on the side illegally, as opposed to somewhere like that in France. How much of an impact does that have? And if it doesn't have a huge impact, then of course there'll be sighs of disappointment, I think, from the
immigration system does need to be fair if we want to maintain that binding contract that our politics is built on. Otherwise, it undermines trust, undermines people's faith that we're on their side, and their belief that the state can and will work for them. And that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that. Because decent, pragmatic, fair-minded people, they want us to tackle the issues that they see around them. And of course, the truth is, we won't solve our problems if we don't also take on the root
cause. This is being spoken about enough. Vietnam closed another 86 million bank accounts a week after Thailand froze 3 million bank accounts. And you guys want to know the whole reason why they're doing this to people? It's because people aren't trying to comply with this whole digital ID thing. Basically, they're trying to digitize everything. They're trying to digitize your identity. They're trying to automate and digitize the jobs and the workforce. They're also trying to automate and digitize the financial industry. And it's happening in Thailand, bro. Like, this isn't just some Western concept. You often see people talk about, like, is the end times only happening in America? No, they do it in these other countries where media isn't that popular because they can get away with it much better. People will go along with it. It's easier for them to manipulate when all the eyes aren't on said topic. And it's coming here. Yeah, it is. I'll show you. Quick Google search. Is digital IDs coming to America? Yes, they are coming to the US. And it says here that digital IDs can be saved in digital wallets like an Apple wallet or a Google wallet. Guys, look, we're here. This like is really happening, bro. Like Terminator, all these movies, Wall-E, iRobot, like all these movies, they tried to warn us, bro. And it's not that they tried to warn us, they really just were letting us know what's going to happen in the future. Will you be getting a digital ID? Let me know down below in the comments. Also, let me know your thoughts regarding this digital ID and what all you think is really going on here. But hey, you know, we were warned. We definitely were warned. The Bible says in Revelation 13 that no man would be able to buy or sell save he receive a mark. So I'll leave that there. You let me know what you think that means.
Yeah, man. You see it. So you see, this is a global thing, man. Okay? And again, that ID is not the charagma. It's not the mark. All right? It's another step toward the mark of the beast, man. You know? Which is that RFID CHIP or that NFC CHIP, man. Okay? And these damn devils have to bring things gradually along. Got the definition of gradualism. It says gradualism is the principle that significant changes occur through a series of small incremental steps rather than sudden large shifts. See that? Because you'll get more pushback from sudden large shifts. All right? Hey, a great example of that is in Nepal when they tried to cut the internet usage or the social media usage. You know, they ain't doing it in increments. They try to do it all at one time, and guess what happened? The people were in an uproar, man. You know? So what you're seeing here being perpetuated around the earth, around the world, is these gradual changes that's going to eventually culminate in the mandating. As he's mandated this digital ID, it's going to be mandated that you take that micro C-HIP, man. It's going to be mandatory. Again, you're not going to be able to function in this society. Okay? It says this concept applied in various fields, including evolutionary biology, where it suggests new species develop from gradual accumulation of genetic changes. In its psychopathical context, where it describes reformist approaches to achieving social goals through gradual policy changes and reform. See that? It says in substance use treatment, it refers to the idea that a person can reduce harm or achieve abstinence gradually through a series of steps. All right. Now, this is the one we want to focus on. In society and politics, gradualism is often associated with reformist politics, advocating for change to occur through small, discreet. Yeah, these damn devils been doing things behind the scenes for years. You heard them talk about Tony Blair. You know, he wanted to implement this years ago, but it had to be taken it had to be taken slow, as it were. Right? It says discrete steps and gradual improvements rather than revolutions or abrupt upheavals. Why? Because it's going to cause the people to rebel, man. Okay? In social change, it says social democrats or democratic socialists may view the achievement of a social society through gradualism as a viable approach involving incremental policy changes within existing institutions. See that? And that's what they're going to do. Okay? It's just not going to be resigned or relegated to just this digital ID. Nah, man, they're going to implement more things into it. So much so, you're going to see that micro C-HIP being made mandatory, man. All right? And through the spirit and power of Yahawashi, we warn you. Again, started by the head apostles and elders. All right? The elder bishops. You know, the elders on down, man. We've been warning you of these things set to come to pass. And again, this is just another step. Okay? Do not take that micro C-HIP, man. The digital ID is not the micro C-HIP. Okay? That is not the mark of the beast, excuse me. The mark of the beast is the micro C-HIP. Okay? And Salakia for the noise. I'm at the plantation, you know. But the spirit jumped on me to do a quick lesson regarding this, warning you. Because that's what we're here to do. We're here to give you warning real quick. Ezekiel, a watchman's duty. Ezekiel chapter 3. And I'm going to start at verse 1. Again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people, and say unto them, when I bring a sword upon the land. And that's another thing. This micro C-HIP, this mark of the beast is the Lord's mark of the beast, MOTB, man. All right? He's the one that's bringing this sword. Okay? It says, when I bring a sword upon the land, if the people of the land take a man of their coast and set him for their watchman, if when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people, then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. So guess what? We've been giving you the warning. And now you're going to be held accountable, man. You're going to be held accountable for not listening. Okay? It says he heard the sound of the trumpet. Yeah, you heard that distinct sound. It ain't been wavering like these other camps, you know. Scripture tell you how can what is piped or heart. Matter of fact, Bible Kashah, let me get this real quick. Let's change this to the KJV. Piped. Let's see if we can get it by that one word. Right. Yep. See, this has been a distinct sound, man. Okay? 1 Corinthians 14:7. And even things without life-giving sound, whether pipe or harp, except they give a distinction in the sounds, how shall it be known what is piped or harp? See that? So we've been giving you a distinct sound that mark of the beast is the micro C-HIP. It ain't wavered, it ain't changed like these other camps, man. You see? It says, for if the trumpet give an uncertain sound, who shall prepare himself to the battle? See that? So these other camps been giving an uncertain sound. They've been giving you a trumpet of mirth, you know, a trumpet of marriage, you know, a trumpet of party Passover, man. They ain't been warning you of the things set to come to pass. So their blood is now going to be upon them, man. But in contrast, we've been giving you a distinct sound, okay? Ezekiel 3 and verse 5, he heard the sound of the trumpet and took not warning. His blood shall be upon him, but he that taketh warning shall deliver his soul. See that? But if the watchman see the sword coming and blow not the trumpet, and that's what these other camps are doing, man. Their leaders are not warning their congregation of the things set to come to pass. And the people be not warned, see? If the sword come and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at the watchman's hand. See that? Yeah, these other camps, man. All right? Their blood of their congregation is going to be upon them. Now let's jump down to verse 33. Okay? Ezekiel chapter 33. I'm going to start at verse 31. And they come unto thee as the people cometh, and sit before thee as my people, and they hear thy words, but they will not do them. For with their mouth they show much love, but their heart goeth after their covetousness. And lo, thou art unto them as a very lovely song of one that have a pleasant voice, and can play well on an instrument, for they hear thy words, but they do them not. Yeah, we've been telling you, man. Warning you, giving you a constant warning of what the MOTB is, and telling you, warning you not to take it, man. Okay? It says, and when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come, then shall they know that a prophet have been among thee. See that? That's when you're going to know, man. When those fucking chipping stations get set up and an alert goes out on your phone telling you that you must go down to your local Walmart or your local post office, you know, and get this subdermal put under your skin, man. You know? And if you don't do it, guess what? You're no longer going to have access to your banking account, man. You know? Hey, we've already seen it, man. You know? Again, the 86 million Vietnamese, the guy mixing the 30 million in Thailand. Yeah, they lost access to their bank accounts because they refused to take a digital ID. How much more when that micro C-HIP is mandated, man? You see? This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 16. And he calls of all, yeah, it's going to be made mandatory. And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Yeah, that micro C-HIP, that subdermal go up under your skin. Also the Neuralink, the wallet more. You have plenty of micro C-HIP technologies out there that's going to be implemented in your hand or in your brain. You know? It says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name, in which all those things are intertwined together. Okay? Once you take this man's mark, guess what? You bow down to the beast. You know? You're basically complying with this man's system. Okay? And guess what? There's a judgment. All right? There's a punishment for complying, for bowing down to the beast, man. Revelation chapter 14 and verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his hand, in his forehead, or in his hand, or it don't matter what hand, man, You take this man Mark, guess what? You're going to be destroyed. Okay? It says, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone, that thermonuclear fire, in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. See that? So eventually, these things are going to show forth, man, and we're seeing them. This is a global thing. This ain't just resigned to America or the UK. No, you seeing these things happen around the world. And the Lord said it's going to be a time of testing. Matter of fact, let's grab that and close it out there. Is that Revelations 3? Yup. Revelation chapter 3 and verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. See, everybody, man, this is a global thing. This ain't just for America. This ain't just for the UK. Okay? No, this is a global thing. The world, orkamini. See that? Orkamini. Now I want to get this word try. All right? It says to try whether a thing can be done. To attempt, endeavor. This is Esau's last ditch effort to control the world, man. It says to try, make a trial of, test. See? Ultimately, it's going to be a test from Yahawashi. Okay? It says for the purposes of ascertaining his quality or what he thinks or how he will behave himself. See? It says in a good sense. In a bad sense, a test one's maliciousness, crafty, to put to the proof his feelings or judgments. And this is what we want. To try or test one's faith, virtue, character, by enticement to sin. See that? So if you ultimately take that micro C here, you're sinning, man. Okay? How do we know it's a sin? Because it's a judgment that we just read behind it, man. See? Now that's going to be it for the lesson. Lord willing, it's been edifying. Matter of fact, let's see. Yeah, that's it. Want to give, matter of fact, yeah, that's it. Thwadi Yahawashi. That's going to be it for the lesson. Lord willing, it's been edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahashim, Yahawashi, Bahashim, Rawchaa, Qadash. Double honors to our teachers, the apostles, and elders of Great Millstone. Lord willing, coming at you with another lesson. Till the next time I say, Shalom.